reminding us. Up next, we have Dr. Cecilia Yeboah, and she is going to share with us, it's okay to ask for help.
Thank you. All right. Thank you, everyone, for being here. And it's a great opportunity to be here with all of you. I appreciate that opportunity. Can you imagine when you've enrolled in a particular program in college as a breadwinner of a home? You've given up your work, full-time work, your time, having to drive almost an hour and a half for 2.5 years, pursuing a degree of your heart. And then at the end of a particular semester, you've been called by one professor, and that professor tells you, I'm sorry, you cannot continue on this program because you missed 1 mark. Can you imagine a student who has worked so hard, passed all her college courses, gotten an admission into the university, and then here comes a challenge of looking for somewhere to lay her head, to study, and 2 weeks to the time, she doesn't have a place to lay her head. Can you imagine how that feeling is? Can you imagine when within 1 week, your most loved ones receive a doctor's report, and that report is life-threatening diagnosis? How would you feel? And can you imagine, after taking care of a patient who was unconscious for 3 days, the patient regains consciousness, gets to know who you were when she first entered into the hospital. And at the end of the day, just a week before the patient discharges, makes a complaint and charge against you, even on the day that you were not working. That is how stress means. That is what stress could be. Stress has become a common word to both adults and young. Even at home, kids, when they have something that's not going well and you talk to them, oh, I'm so stressed. But to you, what is stress? Pause and ask yourself, how do you define stress? Stress has been defined as the body's natural response to unpleasant triggers or stimuli that causes worrying, anxiety, or health issues. Today, I would like to share a few points on what stress is, how to look out for stress, and how to manage stress. Stress can happen to both the young and the old, the white and the black, the beautiful and the ugly, the tall and the shortest. But all in all, stress is inevitable. We live in a fast-paced world where we have microwave foods, fast food, instant coffee, instant everything, to such an extent that people expect human beings to function like machines. That is stress. So when you are at that point and you are caught in a situation where expectations of you is so high, but you have done all that you could, but still your best is taken as nothing, I want to assure you there is a way out. Do you know that in America here, 41% of adults in 2024 have reported having mental health crisis in one way or the other? That is according to SAMHSA 2024. Did you know that our adolescents between the ages of 8 to 17 years, 20% of them have experienced mental health crisis in one way or the other, only in 2024. Did you know that every 11 minutes, an individual dies due to suicide in America? 11 minutes, every 11 minutes. It's my prayer that none of us here will be part of those statistics. But what do we look out for? How do we identify that we are stressed? And what brings about the stress at all? It could be the death of a loved one. It could be illness or diseases. It could be debt, financial debt, where we are swiping our credit cards left and right. And before we realize, we end up in debt, right? And we have no one to help us. And eventually we are facing eviction. We tend to be homeless at one point in time. Stress begins to build up. It could be divorce. You trusted somebody so much that at the end of the day, the person decided to, let go and dump the trust that you have placed in that person. It could also be a divorce or disease, disappointment. It's a big thing. It could be fear of the present, fear of our past affecting our future, and fear of our insufficiencies. They all pile up to put stress on us. So you and I, how do you identify that you are under stress? We have 3 main areas that I want to share with us to look out for. First of all, we want to talk about physical health or biological, on us. When you begin to face a situation that you think that you have no solution, and your heart begins to pound, pump, 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 you could actually feel your heart beating out of your body. You feel that you are sweaty. You feel that you cannot focus. You feel that you are tired, bodily aches, tension, headaches, migraines, all over. Stress might be playing into it. Another area, prolonged untreated stress could lead to high blood pressure. Untreated high blood pressure could lead to kidney failures. It could lead to diabetes. It could lead to any condition that you can think of. Obesity, it could lead to everything that you can think of, including stroke and death. So now we know that underneath everything that we are facing, all the diagnoses that we are carrying in our handbags, walking around with it, there is something in there relating to stress. So my question is, how are we gallivanting from places to places, double shifts, triple shifts? Your day off, they call you, you pick your bag without even brushing your teeth. You go for all the dollars, and at the end of the day, you come back home stressed. It's not able to treat us when we don't have insurance. My other question is, we live in a world where all resources are available, right? So if everything in the world is all about what we have, then why are we stressed? It's a thought for all of us to consider. But my other point that I want to go straight on is, emotionally, stress can make you anxious. It can make you depressed. It can make you isolated. It can make you isolate yourself and you are not able to focus. Somebody asks of your name and you cannot remember. Or they ask of your date of birth of your child and you are beating about the bush. That is what stress is all about, right? Behavior-wise, others rest on smoking, alcohol, addiction, all forms of addiction. Yelling, screaming, go to a house. I can enter a house where there is peace. Show me a house where there is peace, and I'll show you a house where there's fight, backbiting, irritability, arguing, and all over. The culprit is stress. So we have talked about a few points to look for in stress. My point is, in all this, is there help? Do you think there is hope? I'll share a story with you before I sit down. I had worked very hard one day. On my way home, my car was functioning very well. No problem. I anticipated no issues with it. I was driving home. It was raining, one rush hour between 4 and 5, right between Alameda and Sable. The traffic light turned red. I stopped. And when it turned green again, my car decided not to spark. I looked everywhere. In an air-conditioned car, I was sweating. I thought somebody could stop and see what was happening. People were drive behind. So I felt helpless. So I picked up my phone. I called my husband, and I told him I'm getting out of the car. He said, okay, find somewhere safe to stand. I'm coming. And then all of a sudden, as I walked out of the car, I looked around, and I heard somebody running towards me in the rain. A gentleman, dark skin, dreadlocks, tattoos all over, ear pierced, and he was approaching me running. Mom, do you need help? I was like, oh, yeah, I guess so. I think so. I need help. It's like, I can help you. And I was like, really? But deep within me right away, my brother, thoughts started coming. How about if he sits in the car and he speeds off with the car? At that point, I couldn't even recall the number plate or the registration of my car. That is stress. So eventually, to cut a long story short, fast forward, this guy came in, thoughts were going all over. I said, Mom, calm down, I'll help you. I took a deep breath. I said, today be today, whatever happens. He sat in the car, and he started. He pulled it with all his strength. Alone, nobody stopped. This guy struggled and pulled the car to a safe place. As soon as he parked, I saw my husband approaching, and I took a deep breath. I was happy. He didn't stop there. He guided us, led us to a shop where the car could be fixed. And a day after, he called to check on me. My question is, what if I had not accepted his beacon to offer help? If it had happened to you, would you have accepted help? Is it okay to ask for help when you are stressed? So why would you sit in that office when all those piles of work has been piled on you, and all you hear is, oh, are you okay? Do you need help? Let me know if you need any help. As the person is saying this, he's walking away. What would you do? Thankfully, we are in a community where mental health services is available. No matter where we are coming from, my brother just shared the reason and the benefits of traveling, right? We are here for a reason, and we have these resources available to us. It is not a stigma to have mental health issue. And just as somebody would rush when the person has high blood pressure to see a provider for service, so does another person who is suffering from mental health need help, and we are here to help you. My last question is, imagine you are in a jungle and you hear a child crying, help, help, help. You are alone, and you are the only person that sees that child. Would you help, or you walk away? You will, definitely. So there is time for everything. Even as you would help, there are others out there who are also willing to help you. Nothing stops you from opening your arms to receive help. Because so you give, there is the room to receive. You also are a beneficiary of sound mind. The Bible says that God has not given us the spirit of fear, but of power, love, and of sound mind. And tonight, I want to encourage you. You deserve that sound mind. Don't stay under the roof of stress. Look around you. There are so many people around. And that is what I love about this course. I've met a family. So if you need help, shout out. Finally, in conclusion, all I can say is, stress is not good. Don't allow it under your roof. Seek help, and it's okay to ask for help. Thank you.